There's a well-established idea that money is just a physical representation of time. There are things in life that you do that are either going to cost one or the other. Many are pretty obvious. You need your house cleaned, you either got to take the time to do it, or you need to pay somebody to do it. Some situations are not as obvious, especially with activities that we like spending time with family or friends, or trying to learn a new skill. Even life itself, really. Life takes its toll too. Sometimes life's costs are completely hidden. Hello friends, welcome to Mr. Snayl's Wild Ride. I am Mr. Snayl, and the wild ride is my life so far. Here's a common example of one of those hidden costs in life. Most people have a job, right? A lot of people have office jobs. Transportation to your job. That's one kind of hidden cost. Whether you take public transportation or you drive to work. Either way, public transportation, you have to pay for the MetroCard or tokens or whatever. Or if you drive, that's a huge cost. You got to pay for the car, pay for insurance, driver's license, gas. You got to pay in time spent in traffic. I could go on and on. Let's say you have a labor job instead. Aside from transportation, you've also got to pay for tools if your employer doesn't buy them. A lot of labor jobs don't provide health insurance. Plus there's just physical wear and tear on your body and your clothes. We could go on indefinitely talking about this, but what I want to cover today is more of the hidden costs involved with life. It's true, there's wear and tear on you as you just journey through life. Your skin loses its elasticity, your joints wear out, your cells become less able to fend off cancer. Sometimes life wears on you in ways that you can't foresee. Many people have problems that are not evident on the surface. I'm referring to what are known as hidden disabilities, sometimes called invisible disabilities. Thousands and millions of people all over the world who look perfectly normal at first glance require some kind of special accommodations just to get through life. They can have any kind of limiting problem, like epilepsy, or are developmentally disabled, colorblind, or have autism, schizophrenia. They can be elderly, or even a temporary injury can be a real eye-opening experience. The list really, again, is near infinite. As many of you know, my wife and I both have numerous hidden disabilities, both physical and mental. In 2010, my wife took a 10-week tour, 3,600 miles across the Midwest, to raise awareness for hidden disabilities. Now, it came as no surprise that hardly anyone she met had ever heard of hidden disabilities. But what was fascinating was that everyone she met knew somebody that had a hidden disability. She met one fellow who had a younger brother that was under 30 that worked as a rigger on an oil platform. And this guy had multiple sclerosis, and he had no idea what the future was going to hold for him. He lived in constant fear. The situation was very erratic. He had good days, and some days he really struggled, but he had no idea what was going to become of him. She also met a group of Harley riders who had a mutual friend, a woman that had been through a severe illness and had a long, drawn-out recovery period. And during that time, the woman moved very slowly, thought slowly, and talked slowly. And this woman had a number of daily frustrations. She'd go to the grocery store, couldn't find something, would ask an employee to show her where it is, and the woman would say, "Oh, I know right where it is, follow me," and would take off like a shot through the store. And the employee would never look over her shoulder and never notice that the woman wasn't following her. It shows that the situation is much more common, at least in the Midwest, than we thought. So what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is other people's assumptions. The person looks normal, so they get treated as normal. I mean, it's an easy mistake to make, right? It's not like people are being intentionally mean or discriminatory or prejudiced, right? Right? Well, unfortunately, it kind of does. I mean, prejudiced, as we've heard time and again, means to prejudge. It means to draw conclusions without all the information. And that's when we run into problems. Now, because the person's disability is hidden, we've no way to know beforehand what accommodations they need. We couldn't possibly know. It's unreasonable to expect everyone to go around walking on eggshells and living in fear that they might run into somebody with a hidden disability that would need some kind of accommodation that they couldn't possibly know about in advance. I mean, that's crazy. I certainly couldn't do that. I mean, I can't even find my wallet or my glasses or my car keys half the time. I've never thought of myself as a particularly patient person with myself or anybody else. Like a lot of people, I used to get very easily frustrated in traffic. I'd get angry at the idiots around me, and this guy's driving too slow in the passing lane, and so on. After I'd been introduced to the concept of hidden disabilities, I noticed I experienced a kind of paradigm shift in the way I look at the world. Now, it wasn't a conscious choice. It had to be pointed out to me. But I don't usually get mad in traffic anymore. Now, that's the weird part. It wasn't a choice. I don't have to remember, give them the benefit of the doubt. It just happens. In hindsight, I think the main impact was that it gave me compassion and less judgment. I mean, I'm not perfect, obviously. I still get bent out of shape sometimes when I'm hungry, or like when I'm out in the world and I'm in line at the grocery store, things like that. But I give other people the benefit of the doubt about 90% of the time. The idea isn't to be afraid to do or say anything to anybody. It's not about knowing what a person's deal is or might be. It's just about being aware. Aware that someone, anyone, might have a deal in the first place. It's just a classic example of doing unto others. Just put yourself in their place. I put some links in the description below for some more information about hidden disabilities. And while you're down there, go ahead and like this video too. And share it too while you're down there. Please subscribe for new videos every Thursday if you haven't already. We'll see you next week. Or your joints get less something. Your skin loses that hardly anyone she met had ever heard of the hidden whose brother was younger than 30, and he was a rigger on took a long time to get anywhere, to get words out. So the idea isn't about being afraid to say or do something to anyone in the first place. No. Something to anyone. So the idea isn't to be afraid. What is wrong with me? So the idea isn't to be afraid to say or do. God damn it! And share it. Share. Sonny and share. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got new videos every Thursday. We